today I have my glasses on because, as you all know, when you put the comment, then I struggle to read it without being able to see properly. So anyway, today we have the glasses on, and let's get going with our chat. So of course it is Sunday chat. I'm in my studio, and today what we want to talk about is basically a bit of an investment in your business. Now, that may not actually mean money. So if you're thinking, oh no, I don't have any money, it might not be money. Time is more important to me than money. I talk about this all the time, how important my time is, because as you go further along and you have orders to park, you have things to do, you will realize how important your time is. And as I always say, time is money. So your time is more important than the money. I know that sounds bad when a lot of you are probably thinking, well, I just want money. I need to be paid for what I'm doing. It's really, really hard. Hi, Carly, darling. How are you? I hope you're doing super, super good today. You're probably at a market. I know my daughter's at a few this weekend. So anyway, like I said, we're going to be talking about investment and investing into your business. Now, when you first start, you don't really think of that. I never thought of that. And I'm going to tell you a couple things today that I've noticed lately, even with myself. So, when you get all your supplies, let's just pretend you get all your supplies, you've made your last soap, and now you think, I'm going to make another one. Now, what I've done, which is silly of me really, but I'll just use the last bit of coconut oil. I'll use the last bit of shea. Before I knew it, almost ran out of coconut oil. I'd ran out of shea butter. I'd ran out of cocoa butter. I ran out of mango butter. I was low on olive oil and ran out of castor oil. So because I wasn't looking at that inventory to keep making sure I had more there, now I have to wait weeks in between to get the shea butter from one and, the other ingredients from the other suppliers, because most of my suppliers are, in another state. So it makes it really, really tricky. Hi, Soap Chef, darling. How are you? Hope you're doing super good. So they're the sort of things that you need to look out for. And then, of course, time is money, like I said. And then I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, and I've got people saying, I really want that new soap that you're making. And I've had to say, well, it's going to be a couple months now because I still don't have the ingredients here. So that's what I mean. That's an investment too. Materials are an investment. But you need to have a look, and hold on, I'm going to put my air conditioner because it's pretty hot in here. I have to turn around and put it on there. And yes, I've cut my hair off. A lot of people have asked me, what happened? Did you cut it off? I said, yeah, I was sick of it. I needed a change. So anyway, that's what I've done at the moment. But like I said, investment might not be, we're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars at the start. We're talking about just keeping your materials up to date, just looking at things that are working or not working. Hi, Sabrina, darling. So, it's really important to look at those things. And because, like I said, if someone asks you for something, say for instance, somebody says, can I have 5 of this candle, and you have none, then you've got a big problem, because then, you've got no wax, you've ran out. It can be really, really hard. Yeah, I did cut my hair, Carly. I was so sick of it because my hair was always in a bun, and I do like short hair. I've had short hair off and on for years. So, and I get migraines, everyone, from my hair being thick, because I have very thick hair. So I was getting migraines and vomiting and just really unwell with thick hair. So I said, that's it, snip it off. I need a new change. And everyone, this is a new year. If something's not working for you, just say to yourself, bugger it, it's a new year. I'm going to really concentrate on me. And I have actually noticed this year quite a lot in social media where people are saying, I'm actually thinking of myself. I'm not going to go outside in an old ripped t-shirt that I usually wouldn't care less about. They're like, and it's not about trying to look, a certain way. It's just about making yourself feel better. So if it makes you feel better to wear a yellow top every day, go and wear it. Don't feel like you have to just wear a cheap thing, because that's what we do. We put all of our money in our kids or our business, and then we're the ones that we don't go and get a haircut, or we won't go and buy a new dress. These are the things that I've noticed a lot. So that's also an investment in yourself, because look, the thing is, a lot of us are self-owned, it's just one person running a company. And for me, I'm the face of my company. People see my face on videos or on a sticker or whatever, and they know that, I am the face of that. So if I just, don't care, then people sort of think, well, if she doesn't care about her, then how's she going to care about the product? So it's one of those things. But I know a lot of us, we kind of let that go. But I'm going to talk about a few things. Now, I did have a podcast, so if anyone wants to watch it, I had a podcast interview. I was interviewed by Black Sunflower in the US the other day. The lovely Jazz, she's absolutely amazing, and she has a new podcast. So, yeah, that's right, lovely. Yep. You do have to look after yourself and get your health checks and everything else. It's super, super important. And the last couple of years, I've actually developed a heart condition, which I didn't realize until my face started getting very puffy and my feet were as well. So, you have to look after yourself as well. Oh, you liked that podcast, Soap Chef. Yes, as I was saying, everyone, I was interviewed by lovely Jazz from Black Sunflower. It's about an hour podcast, but it's a really interesting podcast about the conference that I have. Also just about recognizing when something's not selling and what you can do to do some research. It's free, go into your local shop. Just walk in there. If you live regional or far out, go and do some online shopping. You don't have to spend any money. Just go onto different sites, have a look at what they're doing, what's selling, what's not. Because I'm telling you, the really big companies, like Lush or Body Works, those companies get rid of things that don't sell. Yeah, self-care is super, super important, Urban Sense. It's really important. And, I think, like when I grew up, my mum always said this, that, you just wore the clothes that you could afford. You didn't think about looking nice. It was just you had one dress for church or Sunday, and that was it. So, but, times have changed, and I'm not really into fast fashion. Even though, if you go to a department store, which I still shop at a cheap department store sometimes, but if you get something, I'm not going to wear that dress for like a month. I'll wear that for 2 years. So then you're actually helping the environment. And, in this industry, it all is about environment as well. It's really important to think of all those things and to, like we said, think about yourself, give yourself a bit of love, because this is a really hard gig. As I did say on Jazz's podcast, it's super hard to do this. It really and truly is very, very difficult. And, being an entrepreneur is not for everyone. It really is not. Some people just realize it's not their gig and it's too hard, which I totally understand. And don't feel bad if you realize that, because that's okay too. But now let's talk about investing in your business. Now, there's lots of ways you can invest. Number one is time. At the start, when I wasn't earning anything, I spent a lot of time on YouTube. I spent a lot of time trying to, just kind of understand everything, research it, understand the safety, understand what I was selling, how things worked, how they didn't work, what looked good, what didn't. And another way that you can also help yourself is go on a program like Canva and spend a lot of time learning it, or Shopify. Go and learn how to do it. Get your iPhone, learn how to take photos. That is all investment into your business. So like I said, if you don't have money, or you're struggling a little bit, or you're not making sales, there's other things that you can do to help yourself, in this brand. So that is one thing. Obviously, that is not investing any money. A second thing you could do is obviously invest in going to, a business group, a conference, trade shows. There's lots of those different things that you can do. And when I first started my conference, a lot of people said after the first year, they really got a lot out of it, and they started to really understand things that they might have been doing that weren't really working, and then they could drop those things and keep going. And a lot of people have told me that their sales actually went up because there were things that they didn't think about. I just think that is so important. Have I done a video on Shopify? No, I think I have done a little one, but nothing major. And my site that you can see on there as well now, my nelsonsopri.com, I make that all myself. So I didn't have anyone help me or anything. I designed that whole one myself. In the past, I have had someone do my site, and they did do an okay job, but it just, it just kind of wasn't what I wanted, and that was probably more of a communication. But at the start, I thought it was great. I was fine with that. But as you grow, you just learn what you like. And always say, don't be scared of investing in what you like, because other people will try and tell you, oh, well, it would look better in white. Oh, it would look better if the letters were blue, or, like I notice so many things like that. And I just think, wow, everyone always has something to say, but at the end of the day, it's your business. So I think you have to trust your own heart a little bit as well. And I will tell you, if you're on Shopify and you're deciding to invest in Shopify, it is more expensive than a lot, but I personally think it is better. But at the same time, customers are not just going to run there. You need to drive them to your site. You need to constantly be having email lists, sending emails, be on social media, be seen. And I will tell you something that has worked super well for me in the last 2 weeks. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So if I forget, remind me. But but with Shopify, it's one of those things that you do really need to work on it. And it takes time to understand. Now, and at the start, I had the free theme. So I think they have 6 themes as well. Etsy, don't even bother, darling. I hate Etsy. I've tried it many times. I've done tests on Etsy. And I just think, unless you're lucky and you just go viral or something, Etsy is almost impossible, and the fees are outrageous. I can remember being on it. I think I only sold 1 or 2 products, and the fees, literally the fees almost took the whole lot. So I was like, well, it's ridiculous, And plus, say for instance, you're on Etsy and you get a whole heap of people following you, and the only avenue you could do is literally go from Etsy and sort of try and drag some of those people to your site. But usually with Etsy, you've signed something to say you're not allowed to do that. And they'll just block you. And at any stage, you can be taken down from Etsy. So to me, it's better off getting your own website, working on that, and trying to drive people there. Yeah, exactly. Only sold 2 soaps in 3 years. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And honestly, look, I've done Etsy. I've had a cheaper website. I've done lots of different things as well. Yeah, Etsy take 40%. That's right. It's like wholesale. You might as well be on Fair. And then you'll get And the thing with Etsy is you're getting a person buying 1 or 2 things. If you sell wholesale, you're giving them 40 or 50% off. I only give 40% off now, wholesale. I used to do 50, but it wasn't profitable enough for me. So, and that's the thing. If you're doing Fair, you can give them just 40% off. That's what I give. And if the customer wants to charge more for my soap than I do, they can do that. That's their choice on what they want to sell the product for. So, I definitely suggest forget Etsy. It's not worth it. I know some people have done okay on Etsy, but the thing is, if you're a bigger seller, you're put in front of the smaller sellers. So the smaller sellers have got to claw their way to the top, which is almost impossible. Very, very hard. Oh, you like my hair, Alexia? Thank you. I cut it off. I had enough. So, so anyway, it will make it much easier for me. So when I'm doing things, and it'll be easier just to put it up and, and look, I thought I'm going to invest in myself this year. I just wanted a change. I'm in my early 50s, and I just thought I just need a change and something for me. So anyway, I quite like it, and one of my baby daughters has gone off to university to live in the city, so the tears were rolling. I was quite sad, and I just thought, look, me and her I got my hair cut and everything to make me feel better, and then I took her off to uni. So it's just that stage of my life where the kids are all going now, I think. So anyway. So like I said, we've talked about that. Make sure you're investing in Shopify. You don't have to, look, and I don't get any cutbacks or anything from Shopify from saying that. It's just honestly worked really well for me. Look, that's the thing. It really has just worked well for me, but you just got to see what works for you too, everyone. And now one thing I say too is, I'll talk about this because I forgot. Otherwise I will forget. So it's taken me a long time to understand how to put a shop on Instagram. So like you can tag your own products and things like that. You have to go through a verification process, and it did take a while. I'm going to be honest, it took a while. And I'm not sure whether you have to have so many followers or you have to be on there so long or how it works. But anyway, that's what I did. And since I've done that, I've actually got quite a few sales. And I have noticed that my website has gone from some days only having 25 people look at it to some days having 100 look at it. And to me, it can't just be a coincidence because this is all since I put the shop on Instagram as well. And it's just like, if, for instance, let's pretend I do a video and I'm showing this soap, then I can tag it and then the person just clicks on that link and then it will go straight back to my site and they can see exactly where it is. And if they want to buy it, they can. It makes an easy shopping experience for the customer. So that's really important. Another thing that I've noticed has really helped me grow is having Google reviews and also having like a Google presence. That has been really big as well. Did anyone use Michael's Handmade Market in the US? I'm not sure. I'm not in the US, but I'm sure other people can let you know if they have. In Australia, I don't do markets anymore. I will be doing a few trade shows, but not actual markets. And I think that's a difference in investing. So to give you an idea, my daughter did the Melbourne show, and the Melbourne show cost thousands and thousands of dollars to have a stall. It's very expensive, whereas you can do a market for $150. But something like the Melbourne show, they get, I think it's like 500,000 people through the door. So that's the difference. It's very, very interesting, isn't it? So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments, but I know that's about the US market that they're talking about. So if anyone wants to talk about that, I'm sure that a few of you may have done that market to give each other some insights on how it worked or not. So, and in Australia as well, I used to do the markets from one called Craft Market Australia. Look, at the start in COVID, I did really well. And I think I did well because the shops were closed. But a lot of people are saying they're not taking the money they need. They're literally taking a couple $100, and it costs $120 to $150 to have a stall. So that's really not worth it, is it? And the other thing which I've spoken about this before is if you want to invest in something, you need to invest in a conference. You really do. I mean, when I first started, I would have gone to a conference. I would have gone to any other one. I couldn't find any in Australia at all, besides ones that were for people that were taking $50,000 a month or whatever, they were more for big sort of sellers. And I wanted something for a new seller to learn how to grow, to learn what I should do, and so on. So that's why I created my own conference, to be able to teach people. And this year is our first year to have international guests from Canada and the USA fly into Australia. So that's very exciting for Australia, for Australian businesses, and of course for businesses all over the world. So if you're in another country, you can buy a ticket and you can log in. And I think Jazz said in American dollars, it's maybe $34. In Australia, it works out to be 49 AU. So it's like 34 US dollars to buy a ticket. And you can go over there. I'll put the links in later, which is the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference. And I'm not sure if Jazz has announced it yet, but she's giving away a free in-person ticket. So just go and watch her podcast where she interviewed me. If you just even do a search on YouTube, you'll find it. Just write Sunflower Podcast and it will come up. But and I'll actually link it anyway after this in this video so that you guys can go and watch it over there. And she talks about how you can get a free ticket on that as well. So super duper important. If you want to grab something, please do that as well. I will give away one online ticket. I won't be doing that today. I've got to actually do some, more things. But look on my Instagram, and I will actually have a post that you'll be able to go onto that post. And for that post, you will need to actually go and like all the other guest speakers to actually win the ticket. So, but anyway, that's what I'm going to do very, very soon. I should do that probably on Tuesday, which of course will be Wednesday for the US. So keep your eyes out for that one anyway on my Insta account. And look, it costs you nothing to join people's Insta. And you know, when I first started, I learned so much watching Insta accounts. I was on there all the time watching all different soap makers, candle makers. I've still watched a lot of them now. I've learned so much from watching so many different people. So don't be scared to watch all of these different people on there as well, everyone. Please don't think that you can't as well. Hello from Florida. Oh, you love... oh, thank you. That's so nice. That's really nice. Esther, I think your name was, darling. So, yeah, so they're sort of things, like I said, that you can do. You know, think of the free things. And also, when I started, I went and I would Google free social media, you know, free posts and where can I advertise for free. And there's actually quite a lot of community groups that you can advertise as well. So... and I've been interviewed on many different things. Now, once they see you, they'll interview you and you can get some free advertising. Go into shops. But this is the thing too, and we'll be talking about this at the conference because we do actually have a supplier, which is Craft 360. They will be coming in person to the conference, which is really exciting. And they will be bringing lots of different supplies so that you can have a look, touch, feel, and see that as well, which will be really good. We'll also have Crafty Space. They have lots of different things they're going to bring as well so that you guys can go and, you know, touch and feel everything and have a look at it. So conferences are good, not just about learning, but also being able to get up close and personal and just touching all the products. So you can also buy a ticket in person for our conference. And this is the first time that Jazz from Black Sunflower has ever come to Australia. So if you want to meet her, you definitely need to get a ticket. Marie from Humblebee Meat is also going to be there, as well as some amazing speakers. You know, we just have some amazing Aussie speakers as well. Like I said, Craft 360 will be there. Crafty Space will be there. And they do like lots of beautiful glitters and DTFs. So if you love DTFs or you want them on your candles, she's your gal. So you know, do make sure that you have a look, and you can go onto my site and have a look at all those people. We also have a printing company called Long Story Short Design. They're amazing. Also the Business Candle Coach. So if you need coaching or you want to watch a podcast, go over and support her, and I'll put all the links for all the different people in this video once it goes up and everything happens with that. So anyway, they're all bits about growing. You just want to watch people research and do all of that. DTS, so it's it's kind of like a sticker, but it's like a waterproofed sticker that kind of bubbles up a little bit, has a little 3D look, and you can put it on candles, you can put it on jars, you can put on lots of things. Key rings, when you go and buy a professional key ring, they're on there. So and some of these companies have them already made up, and then basically it's like a sticker. You peel the back off and you stick it on, but you have to make sure the air bubbles are out and all of those kind of things. So, and for anyone that wants to meet me in person, I will be at the Port Fairy Festival early March this year. So I'm doing a huge festival because I'm doing it for my daughter actually at her stall, because she will be due to have her baby any day, so she can't be doing that. So me and my younger daughter are actually going to be going there, which is about 7 hours from my house. So we'll be up there for a few days staying at the music festival over there as well. Now, another thing that people do when they grow is they actually hire a management team. So, I mean, that does cost money, but this is the thing. Going to a conference, you're going to learn all these things. I never knew this even existed at the start until I've heard people tell me. And even just in the community, when people are talking at the conference, they will say, hey, have you tried this? And it's a really friendly atmosphere where everyone will give different ideas what they've tried. And it was definitely really good to hear people talk about getting like a management team. Any big company will have it. A lot of people will have like a social media team. and so on. This year I've invested in a social media team. So it basically means you pay a team, or one person or a team, depending on who you go with, and they will actually help you with your social media. And it's not about getting more followers or likes. It's about your products being seen. So don't look at it that you're going to get, 50,000 followers. That's not what you're looking for. You're actually looking for your product to be seen and being out there. Yeah, they probably were when you were kids as well. They might have been around a little bit. Hi everyone, but they are a bit more of they're a higher quality. They're definitely a much higher quality. My daughter sells a lot of them. So she makes, they're called hotel key rings, and she has like funny sayings and things on them, and she sells heaps and heaps of them. So every market she'll sell hundreds. Hi Holly, how you going, darling? So yeah, so that's basically a little bit about that. Like I said, looking at hiring a management team if you can afford that. And you can hire like a social expert for around $50 a month. They go up, of course. You can hire SEO teams. I'm not really a big believer in it. I've never had success with SEO teams, but if you invest a huge amount of money, yes, you will. But I don't have that kind of money to invest. I definitely say don't do Facebook ads until you really understand it, until you understand the investment. And if you're going to do a Facebook ad, there is no good doing a $5 or $10 ad a week. It's not going to work. You need to do one that's like maybe $25 a week or more. I learned that really the hard way, because I tried many times and not get anything from it. I didn't even get anyone like even saying a comment on something I'd paid for. And this was when I first started and I couldn't understand. But I really think to invest in these things, your products need to look good, your photos need to look good, you need to have your branding, know what you're doing. And if you don't understand branding, please go back and watch the video that I did with Jazz, because I talk about branding in that and what I've learned on branding, and Jazz talks about that a bit too, because branding and getting your brand together is super important. There's other things that you need to understand, like what is your mission, your goals, so many things that you need to understand, who's your person, who's your target market. And the best way, and I'll give you a bit of a tip, the best way to find a good target market is create a person in your head that you're making the product for. Because that way it makes it, so you might say to yourself, okay, I've got this girl, she's really into environmental things. She's, I don't know, 25 to 30 is her age gap. This just gives you a target market. Of course, other people are going to buy, but it will just allow you to understand who you're selling to a bit more. If you have a person in your mind, it's so much easier to sell to that person rather than just not knowing who you're selling to. And that's what I did. And I actually did that because I watched a video all about Bodyworks, how they almost went broke at the start and they got sued. I think it was Bodyworks, I might be wrong, and then they created this girl in their mind. And I thought, well, that's a really good idea because it hits home more with yourself or your staff. And when we say staff, we'll use that term loosely because a lot of us, it's ourselves, but even if it's your mum or your sister or your friend helping you at a market, well, then they kind of are your staff. So it gives them an idea too to understand who the person is they're trying to sell to. So, like I said, I hope all of these little things have helped you as well. Make sure you drop items that are not selling. Maybe you could refine your list of what you're selling. So instead of selling, 50 different scents, maybe you need to cut that down to 20 or 10, So, and for me, my core line would be soap. So I have a lot more soap scents than I would say in a body butter. So if I do like a lotion, I only have 4 different scents in the lotion because I'm not going to have people wanting to buy massive amounts of lotion in different scents. So it just keeps it really smooth, really neat. It's easy for my professional labeling because my lotions in particular, they're one of the first ones that I've got professional labels made from Long Story Short Design. And they got the beautiful golding and then I actually got the clear backing made as well. So if you're selling something that's going to be in the shower, you really want it to be You know, you want it needs to be plastic or some sort of biodegradable that's not breakable like glass. So don't be making something that's going to sit in the shower in glass. You got to think of things like that as well. And you got to think of sending it. It costs a lot of money to send. So, and I think I showed this in my last video, but these are my new bottles that I'm using. So if you can see this label, this is the professional one I've had, and there is no comparison to paying to get a professional one than making it yourself. And then that's the back. That's also a professional label. I think this is like a DTF almost on that. And then it doesn't come off in the shower. So that's the thing. And you can tell because on the back of this label, it looks foil. The whole back looks like a foil-y kind of look. And it's thicker and just much better quality. But anyway, that was one that I had these made a little while ago, and my labels are a tiny bit different, but I will use these until I sell out of them. There's no good changing everything and so on. Yeah, it's a nice bottle, isn't it? I love the shape of this bottle. This one has been bought from New Directions. In Australia, we have New Directions, and I'm sure they do have them in the US as well. So I'm pretty sure lots of companies do this. I think it's called a squat bottle. It's called a Boston Squat, and it holds 250 mils or 250 grams. So it's a lovely bottle, much nicer than the other ones. It's much more expensive. It's 3 times more, but you get what you pay for, friends. So that's what I just want to say. You really, honestly do get what you pay for. So just try and invest. And, you know, if you can only afford, like I think I bought 100 or so of these, a box of these, but if you can only afford that, just get one item done at once. There's no rush. You know, just be slow like the tortoise to win the race. So, you know, just try and get something in bulk. Even if it's once every 2 months, you're buying one thing in bulk. It will help your business, I promise you as well. Oh, my haircut's adorable. Thank you. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you. Yeah, no, I decided to cut it. I had enough. I needed a change for myself, which was different. And I think the end of this year, I'll get my glasses, new ones, because I wanted hot pink and they didn't have them. So I had to settle for blue, which is not my jam. So, but that's just what I had to do. So anyway, hopefully this has helped you guys today, just giving you a little bit of an insight for our Sunday chat. But like I said, if you want to go and check out the Australian Soaping and Candle Conference, just go over to that website, and it is www.australiansoapingandcandleconference.com. And then, of course, you can check out my website if you want, which is nelsonsoapery.com as well. Oh, you love my videos. Thank you, darling. Oh, thanks, Soap Chef. Yeah, I hope that it is uplifting everyone and helpful because just like everyone else, when I started, I got no sales. I can remember having a website. I got not one sale for 8 months. And I cried. I was so upset. I'm like, why? Because I really believed in my product. But honestly, the photos weren't good enough. So sometimes you need to look at your product. The photos weren't good enough. I don't think the packaging was good. And there is no good wrapping a soap in plastic, even if it is biodegradable, because number one, they should breathe. But number two, people look at that they go, well, why am I buying a natural soap and it's in plastic? Even if it's a biofilm, they don't get that. They just look at that as being plastic. So my thing is, I just think they should be either in a box or they could be wrapped in paper or something, because generally people that are buying natural products expect that. So that's just my take on it personally. And I noticed a huge sale jump when I changed from that to the other. But yeah, and also make sure on your labeling what needs to be important and what doesn't. Oh, you keep me going when I want to quit. Yeah, and look, I get that, lovely. You know, look, there's days that I have sat there and cried. Even with the conference doing that, even this year I've cried. I've been like, is this worth me doing it? Does anyone want to come? I mean, we do have a lot of people on the list now, but doing a conference costs thousands and thousands of dollars to me. I don't have an investor. I pay for the whole thing myself. So this is what I'm saying, you know, like you just need to back yourself up. You need to believe in yourself. And sitting on the couch is not going to get you a customer. You need to take your product once it's good, make a line sheet or something up, which is basically a sheet with the products listing on it. You know, some products or a flyer. You can even take a flyer. So you could literally do something like this, take like a little soap, this is just the end of the soap, just a tiny bit. You could take that and let me show you, hopefully I don't drop it while I'm talking. And these are my flyers, so you could take that and just give that to each shop. Go for a walk, take it to all the shops. Oh, thank you, Amanda. You know, take it to all these shops and just say, look, you know, I'm a professional soap maker or whatever you are, or candle maker. Just say, I'd like to leave this with you and we'd love to have our things in your store. That's what you could do. You know, you could tell them we give wholesale. So, you know, maybe if they live in your store, tell them it will be free delivery. You will deliver it there yourself. So, you know, that's the thing. Just take a little sample. If you go into a store and say, are you interested in taking my products? They can just say no. But even if they say no, you say, look, I'll just leave this with you anyway. They might try this and like it. Or they might have another staff that picks it up and goes, wow, I love that. And then they take on your product. So this is the thing, you know, I've been in business off and on, had different businesses for years. You need to do these things. I know it's embarrassing. You might be scared that you're going to be turned away. And if you hire a manager, you can actually hire a sales manager, and that's what they would do. They would literally go to shops with a sample, drive to shop, even if you can't do it. If you have a mum, a sister, a friend, get them to wear a uniform or like even a t-shirt and make a logo on the front. Take something in like this and just say, you know, this is our company. We're really proud to offer this in local community. We'll offer free delivery. You know, give them that. You don't know what's going to happen, everybody, because if you don't, you're going to sit at home. And I tell you, you can send out 1,000 emails. You might get 2 people that even reply out of 1,000. So that's the thing. When you are emailing, and I said this to my daughter who was going for a job, she went for over 250 jobs and she only got 4 callbacks. Rejections are challenging. They very are. And when she didn't get them, I said, ring them back. Ring them and say, I'm really interested. That's what she did, and she got offered the job. So that's the thing. Like, I'm a bit old school because when I was young, you walked into a shop, you gave them your resume, said, I'd love a job, and then it kind of went from there. Because, you know, if you're online, they can walk away that you're nothing. They don't know you. They haven't met you. They haven't had an interaction with you. So they can just delete the email. And I often do that because I get a lot of people wanting me to put things on the YouTube for them. But, you know, sometimes I do, like I'll look through it. But if it's like a big, long email, like a really long thing, people don't want to read it. They will just delete it. So it's much better to go into a store with a product. But make sure, you know, your product's good and you're really proud of it. Your label's good. And, you know, just so that you can give them a sample. And look, this doesn't need to be in a big thing. I mean, it's just got on the back, you know, what's in it and so on. And it's like I said, just the end of a bar. Or I even have these. These are my little lotion ones. It's just a little tester. So, and this is just a little disposable sort of PET thing. You could literally take this in with a card, or, you know, I'd suggest a flyer, not a card, and just say, this is just a sample for you. Or you could even do a little box, a little container or something of a couple samples, and see how it goes. Because if you're sitting on the couch, no one's signing up, are they? So, you know, rejection is really hard, and I understand that. And like I said, if you don't think you can do it, find a friend or find somebody that you think will do that, and will go to the stores. And then if they went to the store, you could literally just ring them up. I'd ring them a week later and say, just saying how you went, whether you liked our product or any feedback. Don't say to them, will you stock it? Just say, oh, I'd love feedback on it. And often they say, well, actually, I'd like to sell it. So there you go. But if they say, oh, well, I didn't like the packaging, you can say, well, we actually do different packaging. You know, you can organize a meeting from there. You know, just ask, can I speak to you from there? What can I actually do? So, like I said, they're just a few tips that maybe you can take on to try and get more, you know, deals with different shops. And you've got to remember, at the moment, it's hard for shops too. So, you know, even if you just tell them straight up, you can order, you know, $100 if you like. It gives them an option as well. Oh, how did I know you're on the couch? because I spent a long time sitting on the couch feeling sorry for myself. And I cried many times because I thought, I've got this great idea, no one wants to have it. And I thought maybe it's not good enough. And then you start to doubt yourself. You start to doubt what you're selling. So it is much more important for you to go, okay, that's it. I just have to do this. Because do you know what? Many of these big companies, that's what they did. They said, I had no shame. I just went into stores, tried to sell it. Because if you don't, no one's going to know that you exist. It's the same as my conference. If I didn't talk about it, nobody's going to buy a ticket because they're not going to know what's involved. But like I said, these are the things we're going to talk about at the conference. We're going to really show people how they can do this. And they will actually get a book as well. There'll be some recipes in it and some suppliers lists and things like that in the book, which I think will be really, really good for people. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed it, my friends. And I'm going to see you on the next Sunday chat. All right. Bye, my lovelies. Are those bags suitable for melt and pour soap? I don't do melt and pour, so I'm not sure. My daughter, actually, I didn't buy these. My young daughter bought them and then she didn't want to use them. But I leave them open because I didn't want them sealed. But these ones I think she got from AliExpress. So I think they were, I'm going to say $8 for 60 of them or something. I can't remember. But something like that. How would you build the business? I'm not sure what you mean by that, darling. If you mean like if you're buying from some companies overseas, you're still paying money. So I pay through PayPal and I give all that to my accountant. Doesn't matter where you're buying it from. You're still spending money. So if you give that to your accountant, they'll do all the tax things. I'm hopeless with tax. That's why I have an accountant. I do suggest everyone have an actual accountant or legal representative for any of those things. Oh, sorry. So you mean like when you're selling to stores? I tell stores I have to pay upfront to get my product. I don't give anything for 30 days. But if they go and join me on Fair will actually give them $100 for free. And I think it's free shipping for a year. And then I think they have 2 months to pay. So if you have your company on Fair, which I do, they get a really good deal. And they can go onto my website and see that. So if anyone wants to see how that works, just go onto my website. There's a little line down the bottom which says wholesale. Click on the wholesale and then it will take you to Fair so you can see what I've done. It will give you an idea. And you can use any of those things, like on Fair or anything like that. So just remember, you can do lots and lots of different things as you're going along. So I hope, like I said, I hope that kind of makes sense a little bit, lovely. Anyway, I will leave everyone and I will see you next Sunday. Bye.